Hey everybody, today I'm working on my implementation of a Zulip component. I'm implementing it outside of Zulip right now, but with the hopes of eventually integrating it into Zulip. This is what I have right here. This is based on what Zulip has in its top left corner. I call it a convenience panel. If I turn on the console, you can see that my component can integrate with other things. Right now, the basic architecture is that you pass in a bunch of services to the component, and then when you click on certain things, the component just calls whatever the appropriate method in the service is. And you also have the ability to translate messages on the fly. And in my particular example, I translate them to French. But my objective for today is to make this set unreads button do more than it's currently doing. So this actually shouldn't be a ton of coding. So let's get right to it. I'm going to open up Vim. I'm going to open up my all messages component. And I'm going to show you that I have this function in here called update unread count. And all it does is call its underlying widget to update the count. I guess it's important to show you what the underlying widget is. The underlying widget comes from, it's an unread count widget, which comes from unread count helpers. And of course, this is a really, really simple class right now that basically just creates a span element, adds a style, and provides a little helper function to update the count. And when you call update count, it updates the inner text. I don't have every detail working on this. If there is no unread count, this little thing should be invisible, but right now it looks like this sort of awkward, empty pill looking thing. I mean, it's a button. Well, actually, it's not a button. It looks like a button. But at any rate, let me show you some more code. Go to the convenience panel. The convenience panel is just a container that holds 5 components corresponding very directly to these 5 components in the visual interface. And when I call update unread count now, right now, I'm only passing in a simple count to update all messages. But what I want to do is, let me go back to English. What I want to do is update all messages, starred messages, and drafts. So the code's going to look something like this. And see, let's call these counts plural. Today is Mother's Day, so I get to hang out with family, which will be fun. My sister lives about an hour and a half from where I live. My mom lives about 20 minutes from where I live. My mom's going to come to my house, and then I drive with my mom down to meet my sister and her husband and her kids. And I don't get to see her kids too often because they're both, well, one of them's in college. My niece is a junior and she's still in college. And my nephew just graduated from college and he's working selling sports tickets of all things. He's always been a sports person. And he gets that from his grandfather, who's my father. My father's very avid sports fan. So let's see. I have the counts thing here, and by the way, that rubbed off a little bit on me too. So I have the counts, and I want this. I'm going to call this. What do I call it? Unread count. Unread counts. I'm not obsessed about names when I'm originally developing things. I can always go back and rename stuff. Things get renamed. It just happens. So I think I want to declare the type here ish. So I have type unread counts equals. Finally starting to get the hang of TypeScript syntax. I mean, it's pretty simple. And I'm basically going to be passing in 3 numbers. I'm going to have all messages as a number. I have starred messages as a number. Whoops. And I'm going to have drafts. Yeah, there's this sports team in Washington called the Washington Capitals. It's a hockey team. And my nephew's job, kind of like right out of college, is that he just tries to sell people season tickets for that. And a lot of people in my family are kind of introverted, so not many of us end up in a sales profession. And my nephew's kind of quiet around adults, but I think he's probably less introverted around his peers, which is natural for people in their early 20s. I think he's 22, 23 maybe. I think he's 23. He's like 2.5 years older than his sister, who just turned 21. So the math would make sense there. Okay, so I have this, but I have to pass it in. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm updating the unread count, and I need to pass in. I'm going to say that all messages should get 10. My niece is interested in criminology, or at least she was, because she watched like all those CSI shows, and she's like a really good student. Um, so she's considering grad school, I think. I think she would enjoy. But I haven't really talked to her much. I talked to her. I think the last time I saw her was Thanksgiving, but she's so quiet. All right, starred messages 20. Let's see. Drafts will make 30. That I think this is all I really need to do, because now my panel method supports a structure where you pass in 3 different counts. I have the TypeScript, and I really like this habit. For young developers, don't know about this already. I'm sure you do, but just like read your diffs. Like you made a bunch of changes, like, and you're just trying to remember if you've accounted for everything. So I've added unread counts. I've modified my unread counts, or my update unread count function to take in counts, and I might rename that to like count dict or something like that. Or you don't really use dict in JavaScript, count object or something, but I think counts is fine for now. And I call it. So I think all I need to do here is compile. So I'm using the TypeScript compiler here. And if that had succeeded, it would have run the web server, but it's failing for some reason. Oh, I didn't actually change the type there. Wait, where was I? Yeah, I don't actually use. Here it is. Oh no, I did change the type. Oh no, I just wait. All right, let's see. Number is not assignable to update unread. That looks like I just didn't save. I really need to just get um, Vim to autosave. I bet that's not the problem here. Let's see. Update unread count. This is line 34. Oh, okay. I just need to change this type. So it's going to be counts, unread counts, and let's let's put that above there. And let's try that. So yeah, I'm gonna meet my mom and I are gonna drive down, meet my sister and her family. Probably about, I think it's about an hour away from here in Northern Virginia. My mom and I live in Pennsylvania, and Debbie and her husband and kids live in Virginia, but the kids have already moved out. Let's see. Let's run this. Set unreads. Oh, undefined. So still have some work to do here. Why is it undefined? Passing in unread counts. All messages is a number. Starter messages is a number. Let's just add some console logging here. Console.log. I'm gonna feel stupid. All right. It's actually a nice day outside, so I'm looking forward to getting on the road. Whoops. Oh, that might explain. Oh, yeah, I totally screwed that up. All the code in the component itself, and when I say component, let's see if this works. All the code in the component is in TypeScript. All the code in my sort of like manual testing framework is in pure JavaScript, and that's why I didn't have to recompile after I made this change to UI.js, which you can see is in the directory above the lib directory. Well, you can't see that totally clearly, but it is. And I think I'm done here. Yep. Okay. So, oops, and I can remove that console statement. And I can look at the diff. I ignore the code generated pieces during the diff. As I said in prior videos, I'm not positive that I need those to be in my GitHub repo, but they're not really causing a problem for me right now. But I added the type of unread counts, and then I changed the type of the update unread count function within the convenience panel type, and then I changed the implementation of it so it calls the 3 subcomponents, and then in my UI, I call that. And now I'm going to push. And we're done. If you've listened up until now, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch me code. And I'll be doing more of these in the future. Thanks for listening.